Oh, come on.
Cut! The glove's out of battery. As an indie CG filmmaker, throughout the years, I spent a lot of money on mocap equipment. Let me explain. Xsens small, Xsens large, Stretch Sense returned, Rokuku returned. Last but not least, the old Manus glove. And all this spending is to find the mocap combo can hit the quality I need from the content.
And to help you guys to see through their marketing demos and put them through some real-world tests, ultimately to save your time and money.
And after investing so much money for the body, I think I have a pretty solid solution. But there's one slot missing. What do I use with the finger? Oh, and trust me, I tried a lot of solutions, like one of these old Manus glove, and you can check out here for the failed attempt. And you probably say, well, just animate them. Thing is, the hands and fingers are probably the hardest thing to bring life to and to animate properly and animate fast. Even though I started my career as an animator, I never really had the patience, or I was never really good at doing these. And Manus saw my struggle, so they sent over this new Quantum Metagloves for me to test. Well, full disclaimer, they're not sponsor of this video and there's no money exchanged. They only send over the product for testing and I have to return it after testing it. If you actually follow my Twitter, I said something pretty harsh about their old generation gloves in the past. So with that out of the way, let's see if this glove can hit the quality we need. One thing that is very interesting, I noticed that it seems like the fingertips are the only places where the sensor is. So my assumption is it probably is running some sort of IK back solver on each of the finger. Unlike the old glove, where all the sensors running on the back of your finger. So it's like an FK versus the IK. Okay, those are just initial tests. Now let's put them to the real world user case. And one thing I can think of to really leverage the accuracy of the glove is first person shooter games. And since hands is the only thing you can see in the games, so Call of Duty's games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, they put tremendous amount of effort animating the hand animation. And I remember in one interview, they said something like this.
We haven't mocap. This is all hand-keyed animation. I did ask the animation team if they wanted to go that route, but a lot of them were very purist, like me, and didn't want to, give their artistry away to mocap.
I just can't imagine the amount of work for keyframing all the animation to that quality. So I think it would be a very interesting test to put on the glove and try to make one of those gun inspection animation.
When putting the gloves to a real-world test, one thing challenging is the close proximity contact between each finger. You can see the precision starts to drop a little bit, and when I'm holding the gun grip, sometimes the finger flicks to penetrate the handle. And I put the raw skeleton animation side by side so you can see how the mocap translated to the model. I think the glove quality holds up for probably a third-person usage, but for the first person, I don't think it's accurate enough. For the raw data at least. And same result in M4. With two hands not contacting each other, the gloves captured the finger is moving, but I'm not too sure about how accurate the movement is for prop contact. Definitely need a lot of cleanup. After trying this, now I really appreciate the Call of Duty animation team. Those artists really did a great job. Huge respect. How about some magic spell? Without the finger contact, I think the gloves produced better result. The movement is captured pretty accurately and fluid. In terms of finger touches, the accuracy comes from both the body mocap and the gloves, so it's kind of hard to get 100% accurate touch in this case. Alright, after seeing the battle test, let's talk about some weakness in the gloves. First is the sensor. The way it attaches to the finger makes it very tricky to capture performance that need to interact with other props, like the gun trigger. And I personally don't really like the finger clip solution. It's very fragile and easy to break. And overall build quality is just average, I would say. For a product at that price, I would expect a more polished and a tougher material that I used. And the last thing is the wireless signal. In my testing, the wireless signal is allergic to any obstruction. If the glove and the dongle is not in the direct line of sight, if there's anything in between, the data starts to stutter and drops. To my knowledge, I don't think there's onboard buffer on the gloves, which means if the data drops during the recording, you will get choppy result. My opinion changed a lot throughout the testing and making of this video. When I first got the glove, I thought, this is the one. The demo looked good on the website. It checked all the technical boxes. But after testing it, I think instead of asking, is this glove worth the price? I actually have a different opinion about mocap gloves in general, especially for indie filmmakers. Let me explain. As you can tell in the real world testing, mocap glove is only a portion of the whole performance capture workflow. And after testing multiple brands for the gloves, Rococo, Xsens, and Manus, and it seems to me that no one got 100% right yet to achieve that AAA quality. How much effort this glove is going to save me from having to polish the overall animation at the end. Because I still have to touch the arms, the hands, I still have to animate the props. And it's not like I don't have to touch the fingers at all, I still have to polish the animation after capturing it. It just gives you a better base to start. So for me to spend $6,000 on a pair of gloves, that gives me very marginal gain in leveling up the content quality. If there's any improvement, maybe I will invest in another mocap suit, which at the same price point. But a new mocap suit will give me a lot more content possibility. For example, I can do multiple character interactions fight. And I think that will probably worth more than just a slight finger improvements in your whole performance capture pipeline. And not to mention solutions like AI tracking, MetaQuest Pro, they can also track the fingers using the AI based on a RGB camera. Speaking of that, I'm actually testing out those solutions like Move AI and Plasky. So leave a comment, let me know if you want to see a video about that and what are the things that you're most curious about. Hey, those are just my personal opinion and check them out if you're interested. Thank you, Manus, for sending off the product. Leave a like if you found this video helpful and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.